And a very warm welcome to you. Have you ever been in one of those meetings where you watch somebody and you think, wow, I better be on my A game? Or you can't pull the wool over that person's eyes? Or, oh my goodness, such and such is so quick-witted. We all admire these traits in people when they can think on their feet and adapt and talk to anybody. They're great at conversation. They have a good memory. They're attentive. They have good focus. It's fantastic, isn't it? But you know what? It's not by accident that they're like that. And it always amazes me that people seem to think that there's nothing they can do to be like that themselves. Because we don't always feel like we're on our A game, let's face it. And I think with functional medicine, there's so much that we can do to help people get back on their A game, especially if you've been in business a long time. You might be in a position of authority, or you've got high levels of responsibility and the buck stops with you. And so, if that happens, you might not be sleeping well because of the worry that you have or the level of responsibility. You wake up thinking things at 3 o'clock in the morning and trying to come up with solutions. So, when you get into work the next day, how can you possibly be on your A game, really? But the good news is there is so much that we can do about it to find out what's going on behind the scenes that perhaps makes you feel like your memory isn't what it used to be, or your concentration and focus isn't what it used to be. So just to kind of break that down a little bit and prove to you what can be done, I'll take an example of somebody who works in petrochemicals or farming, and they are exposed to a lot of fumes, maybe, but without realizing, because we're all exposed to fumes just by walking along the main road. But certain industries and certain people are more likely to be exposed to things. Now, if those toxins get into our body, then our liver is going to be processing it in the normal way, and it's part of our regular immune system that we just process it and flush it out. Imagine that same person then 10 years later, they've been exposed to a lot more toxins at work. Could be a factory, could be farming, could be glyphosate, could be petrochemicals, okay, all sorts of things. Add on to that a poor diet from maybe being too busy to eat regularly or not eating healthy food. Well, your liver also has to process that. So if you eat lots of ultra-processed foods and junk food, that's regarded as toxins to your body as well. So your liver's working a bit harder. Then, along comes coronavirus, and so many people are absolutely knocked for six. Why? Because it's another demand on our immune system. So you see how over time, things that you may have got away with in the past gradually build up, and our body is constantly trying to keep our immune system strong, keep our detoxification processes going, make sure that we're getting all the right foods to where they need to be. And at some point, it just all catches us up. And so it tends to be around middle age, sometimes before, sometimes later, that we just think, oh, I've got brain fog today. I can't think. Where did I put my keys? And we think it's come from nowhere, but it actually hasn't. This has been an ongoing process that has been building up, and we've got away with so much for so long. Because our immune systems are phenomenal. They're great. It works really hard behind the scenes. And that's why most of the time you don't realize that you're coming into contact with things that are harmful to the body until we get something like coronavirus. And then it's a complete game changer, because people who appeared to be healthy on the outside suddenly got really sick or developed chronic fatigue. And we might have thought they were healthy on the outside, but we don't know what was going on the inside before. And so when you experience brain fog and poor memory and things like that at work, that impacts the way you can do your job. And whether you're running a business, or whether you're in charge of people's health, or whether you manage a team, or your sales and going out trying to win new business, whatever is going on the inside will be reflected on the outside. And so ideally, we want to keep you as healthy as possible on the inside. And the way we do that in functional medicine is using simple stool and urine samples that can give us a good idea of what's happening behind the scenes. So, for example, there's a urine sample that you can do called Envirotox, and that measures environmental toxins, lots of different toxins, but to see whether you've got traces of it or larger than ideal amounts of it, because they would have an immediate impact on your brain and your cognitive function. There's all sorts of reasons for that, but one of the main reasons is that when toxins cannot be eliminated from the body, so certain things, especially if they're not natural and organic things, the body can't necessarily eliminate them properly. So it encases them in fat and then gets them to where they're going to cause the least amount of damage, usually your thighs, in my experience. But, if you think about it, your brain is mostly fat. And so any toxins that are dissolved in fat, there are vitamins, vitamins A, D, E, and K are also fat soluble vitamins. So we need fats, don't just go out and avoid them. But remember that toxins are also either dissolved in fat or in your body, they can be encased in fat to protect the rest of the organs. So this Envirotox test is a very useful way of seeing what's coming out of the body as a good indication of what's already in it. We measured organic acids as well to check neurotransmitter levels, which will help with your cognitive function too. So a lot of these results tend to come back on a traffic light system. So it's not just you've got this or you haven't got it. You're given an indication of the risk factor, if you like, and you're also given an indication by the laboratory of what to do about it. Because another urine sample that we can do measures whether your body actually has the right nutrients it needs for all these systems to be functioning properly. So the Krebs cycle is your energetic cycle. Have you got enough B vitamins, or are there some toxic elements that are blocking that pathway of B vitamins from being transformed to what you need? That's going to have an impact on your mood, as well as your memory and overall performance at work and cognitive function. So that looks at have you got the right nutrients in your body, and are they being obstructed by any toxins? But the other thing we need to know is if you have got the right nutrients and if they aren't being obstructed and you don't have any toxic elements there, can your body actually digest them and get them to where they need to be to keep all the systems functioning properly? Your endocrine system, your neurotransmitters, your digestive system, your cardiovascular system. Okay, so with that, we do a 3-day stool sample, and that measures your gut function. It's a complete, comprehensive gut analysis that measures inflammation in your gut, which is an indication of frontline immunity. It looks for any toxicity, so that could be parasites, or you might have a yeast infection. Parasites, incidentally, are a lot more common than people realize. It looks at dysbiosis. So is there more good bacteria or bad bacteria in your gut? That can lead to things like bloating, and certainly irritable bowel syndrome would have a lot of dysbiosis going on. So if you get anxious and nervous before meetings and have diarrhea, stomach pain, or constipation, all of those are indicative of a dysbiosis in your gut, and also of the high stress levels, because high stress levels, high cortisol, then reduces your digestive enzymes. So even if you eat a good diet, you can't break it down in the same way. So there's a complex interaction of all your body systems and your environment that will go towards making your brain either function super well or not so well. Okay. And so as soon as you start getting brain fog or poor memory or poor concentration, then we know that something's going out of balance in your body. You're not performing as well as you could at work. And if you have a high level of responsibility, or the buck stops with you, then taking control of this would be one excellent way of reducing your liability the situation that you're in, because you need to be able to think on your feet. You need to be able to think clearly. And apart from anything else, if you're in business, particularly if you've got your own business, then you want to be on your you want to be on your A game for your business, because otherwise you're leaving money on the table. It's like, I'm here in body but not in mind for half of the day. Okay, you're not going to send your best employee home for half a day. But in effect, if your cognitive function isn't firing on all cylinders, then that's what you might as well be doing. Same as if you're not able to sleep well. We've got urine tests that can measure your diurnal cycles, so your wake-sleep cycle. Because if you're not sleeping properly at nighttime and you're not fully well rested, then your body isn't actually recuperating and recovering, neither is your mind. And then when you're in work the next day, you might be there physically for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours. But mentally, if you're only working at half capacity, then actually you're only doing half a day's work, but not getting the benefit of half a day off. So I just wanted to make this quick video really to help you be aware that if you are one of those people who struggles with brain fog and poor memory, or if you've noticed a gradual decline in that, then it might be worth us having a chat. You can book a free 15-minute call with me. There's no pressure, but a lot of people aren't aware of functional medicine and what you can do naturally to help yourself. Everything I do is about natural remedies. So using your food as your medicine, supplementing as and when necessary, altering your lifestyle and your habits so that you can rebalance your hormones naturally, rather than needing to take HRT for menopause or caffeine to boost your energy every time you want to be able to think clearly. Let's not go down the kind of self-medication route with caffeine, which actually causes a lot more problems. I think it's like stealing from tomorrow to feed today, when really and truly we need to be doing that with our food. And if you do that with your food and use, it could be that there is something going on in your body, that there's a complete imbalance and we need to work together for 3 or 6 months. If we do that, then you would be given full guidance on how to use your food as your medicine based on your own test results. And so the treatment plan is personalized, and your diet plan would also be personalized. And so it could be that you need an anti-inflammatory meal plan to reduce inflammation or weight gain. It could be that you need a mitochondrial meal plan, which will help the mitochondria in your cells to produce more energy and to cleanse the cells properly. There's all sorts of different meal plans, and you couldn't be expected to know what to eat other than just eat your 5 a day. So that's why I work closely with people, particularly business leaders, who want to use their food as their medicine and their lifestyle, and find ways of just being on their A game at work. So if you'd like to get in touch with me, then please contact me at Barefoot Medicine. My name is Simone Buna, and I'm based in the UK, but all the functional medicine consultations are done online, which also means if you travel with work, then at least you've got some degree of continuity of care, because I can just speak to you online at your convenience. So thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you.